From taking a fight only because of money to how it could hamper his legacy in the boxing world. Here's why Manny Pacquiao should not fight Ryan Garcia. Firstly, because it's a fight, only being scheduled to make some quick money, and I don't have an issue with boxers looking to cash in. But let's be honest, this is just a bad idea whichever way you look at it. Most of the money fights have something on offer for the fans. A Pacquiao-Garcia fight in this day and age is not it. Manny hasn't been boxing regularly since the end of 2019, and while he did return to take a fight recently, back in 2021, it was a horror show. He lost it by unanimous decision, and fans were devastated to see him lose. Unfortunately, it was clear, even before he said yes to the fight, that Pac-Man was dusted and it was a stupid idea to accept a fight at his age. He was 42 when he agreed to that one, and he'll be at least 45 if he enters the ring against King Rai. You might think the age is just a number, but be honest when I ask you this. Do you genuinely think a 45-year-old Manny can beat Garcia? No freaking way. The problem isn't even about whether he can win against him. The problem is, there's no reason for him to beef with someone who wasn't even born when Pacquiao started his boxing career. Yeah, Manny's that old. In addition to the age troubles, I also feel this bout won't play as well as Manny expects it to play out. There isn't a lot of money to be made from a fight like this. Firstly, because it's been rumored to be nothing more than an exhibition. You can understand that, cause, well, Manny is not a big catch at his age anyway. More importantly, the new world of boxing has many stars waiting to explode. Look at the likes of Gervonta Davis, Stevenson, Ryan Garcia himself, and even Devin Haney. These are the fighters that the younger generation wants to see in action, not some washed-up boxer turned politician who wants to dip his toes in boxing again. I can't lie. Sentimental value is important, and it'll play a role here too, undoubtedly, getting many people to watch the fight, but it's not going to do as well as Pacquiao probably expects. There was a golden time when fans were ready to dish out big money to see such fights happen, but the ship on that has sailed because now boxing is making a comeback in combat sports. Fights like these only diminish the value, and I'm not joking about this. Look at the reaction from the crowd when the decision went against Lomachenko in 2023.
And you can hear the reaction from the crowd.
That indicated how boxing is back with a bang. There's no need for the oldies to beef with the young blood. Because can you imagine if Garcia somehow loses? In a completely hypothetical setting, let's assume that Ryan actually gets knocked out or just loses on decision. That's his career done and dusted. He can take as many fights after that as he wants. But no one is ever taking him seriously again. He'd already be coming off a loss to the Tank, and should he lose to Pac-Man, it's over for King Rai. Luckily for him, there's a career in YouTube ready to explore, and all those chants about him being a YouTuber boxer will be very real. It'll also raise many question marks over the level of boxing in the modern age, where every other sport is producing stars who claim to be much fitter and better in every way. Compared to the legends, boxing will experience another setback. No one's going to take this class of boxers seriously, and they'll be written off forever. No matter what kind of greatness they end up achieving, those zeros next to their records will only get mocked at. So in terms of the future of boxing, this isn't the best fight to make, and Garcia should be smart enough to cut it out. There's no scenario where he comes out the winner, even if he wins the fight. Everyone will say that he doesn't deserve any credit, because he was expected to win this anyway. Add to that how it's a pointless fight for him, given his career aspirations too. This for me is the most important factor of all, and the biggest reason why the fight should not go ahead. Garcia lost to Davis in humiliating fashion. That left hook destroyed him, and if he's serious about pursuing a career in boxing, he should be calling out some serious fighters, not someone who started boxing back in 1995. There are plenty of talented fighters who'd actually help advance Garcia's bid to build it back and challenge for the titles again. If he chooses to go down an exhibition route in the middle of his peak, it'll not only be very unambitious from the younger, but also cowardly to say the least. Imagine if he'd won against Tank. Do you think his career would have gone down this route? Certainly not. And he wouldn't even be entertaining any talks regarding a fight with Pac-Man. But it wasn't too long ago when the first time the idea of this Pacquiao-Garcia fight was floated. Yeah, did you know that this fight was first rumored to go through back in 2021? Garcia and Manny have been beefing for quite some time, and it's clear that Ryan has no respect for the boxing legend. He put 3 other boxers ahead of Manny in the all-time list and made plenty of call-outs, forcing him to take that fight. Manny, who has been involved in politics back in his home country, wasn't going to pass up the opportunity, as it allowed him to stay relevant in the boxing scene and make a quick buck. Back then, Garcia was on board with the idea too. He was a young sensation, looking to make a name for himself in the world of boxing, and he knew a fight against Pac-Man would put him on the map. In 2023, though, this is a fight that makes no sense. And to be fair, Garcia is not too keen on it either. You see, the rumors of a Manny-Ryan fight have only emerged due to Garcia's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya. Yeah, he doesn't want anything to do with Pacquiao anymore. Instead, he tweeted about how he's interested in the 3 people he wants to fight next. Those names included Rolly Romero, Isaac Cruz, and Lopez, all with certain conditions. This was back in late May 2023, but only a few days later, De La Hoya reportedly talked about setting Garcia up with Manny Pacquiao instead.
A very tough beating to get me out of the sport.
Like Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao.
Where did all that come from? Your guess is as good as mine. Oscar clearly believes that a lot of money is to be made from this fight, while Garcia replied that this fight isn't happening and how he's tired and frustrated at the mention of it. It ended up escalating into a beef, with Oscar tearing Garcia a new one. All I know is, the two aren't looking eye to eye when it comes to Garcia's next fight. King Rai detailed about how he got more support from Tank's camp, before and after the fight, instead from his own promoter. And that's something that De La Hoya isn't exactly thrilled about. Maybe he's lost interest in representing the young boxer, and is more concerned with making money off a fight against Pac-Man, which will definitely bring in more money, than one of the fights that Garcia tweeted about. That said, if Pacquiao has any common sense, he'd also not agree to this fight. From Manny's point of view, it might look like a safe fight to take, but it's not. Yes, he can make a lot of money just by being around for a minute inside the ring, but he's got so much to lose if we're being honest. So many young fans think lowly of Pacquiao ever since his loss in 2021, and his legacy will take a further hit if, or should I say, when he loses to Garcia. No one can dispute Manny's greatness. He's easily one of the greatest boxers ever, but at 45 years of age, he's more or less finished and definitely not good enough to fight a young boxer like Garcia. It could actually be a bloodbath because Ryan's very aggressive and he'll want to bounce back after his defeat to Davis, so he won't go easy on Pacquiao. That's why I don't necessarily agree with the people saying that Pac-Man doesn't have a lot to lose here. He does. His legacy, which he worked so hard for throughout his career, is at stake if he takes this fight. Garcia will be an overwhelming favorite, and there's a huge chance that Manny gets destroyed. Is that really worth making a bit of money? I doubt it. So from how it could hamper his legacy in the boxing world, to taking a fight only because of money, here's why Manny Pacquiao should not fight Ryan Garcia.